Great morning, great morning, great morning. How is everybody doing this morning? Romance is in the air. It is Brent Harding, and welcome to the Wealth Warrior broadcast. I got to tell you, it is a little bit challenging this morning to be on the broadcast when all I'm thinking about is, was she beautiful or what? Who am I talking about? Okay, come on, folks. You know who I'm talking about. Meghan Markle was outstanding. I have been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I'll tell you what, the only reason I wasn't up at 4 was I checked to find out when she was getting married, when she was actually coming in the room. And 4 o'clock was really early. So as soon as I got word that it was going to be 7 o'clock, I was like, okay, I can sleep for a little bit longer. My body still woke me up. I know there were other people that were up. Nancy Hill was up. I know that because I saw her post. So let me correct that and say Nancy Lewis Hill, Coach Nancy. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I know Regina Jones Jenkins was up. I already know that for a fact. Janice, good morning. It is great to have you. So I got to tell you, I'm going to do the broadcast. However, you have got to know that it is a little bit crazy right now because you know part and parcel what's on my mind. Yes? Okay. However, we got to keep things straight. Why do we have to keep them straight? Because, let me be frank, she's got hers. You and we need to get ours. Am I right? Okay, with that being said, welcome to the Wealth Warrior broadcast. My name is Brent Harding. I am your host of the Wealth Warrior broadcast. I also want to give a shout out to our ambassadors. They include Albertha Bogan. Also, they include none other than Regina Jones Jenkins. And we anticipate very shortly we will have a third program ambassador, and that will be Nellie Rosario. And so I want to give a shout out and a thank you to them as well for a certainty. Want to give first shout out and thank you again to Janice McManus. Yay, she is with me this morning. That is a great thing. Want to encourage everybody, you know what to do. What's going across here? It is the phone, and it is indicating that you want to share the broadcast. All you have to do is go up to the Facebook page. Down in the bottom corner, you will see the share button. Go ahead and share the broadcast so that we know who's watching. Make sure that everybody has an opportunity to enjoy the broadcast and to get some solid nuggets. Want to also give a shout out to Britt Johnson from Boss Lady News and Letitia Johnson, who I was with yesterday, but we'll do that a little bit later. Let's talk about what is going on in the broadcast this morning. We are talking about credit is smart money. And I got to tell you something, that $786 million that was spent over in London, people used their credit. It's called using other people's money. They used that credit, and guess what happened? As a result of that, the economy over in London is doing right fine. Can you imagine? Almost $1 billion spent this one day. Whoa! Now, not spent. There was $1 billion that has come from tourism that was spent. Whatever they spent, that's a different story. But I'll tell you what, they made it back, and they are going to make money. How many knockoff dresses do you think are going to be created as a result of Meghan Markle? How many people are going to wear the ring, the replica ring, as a result? So this was just in that one period of time for the wedding, and what's going to go on after the wedding. So credit is smart money, using other people's money to get what you need and making sure they get it back. With that being said, the show is sponsored today, and it is going to be sponsored through the remainder of the year by BrentHarding.myecon.net. MyEcon is about our individual respective economies. How is your economy doing? How can your economy be improved? Well, I'll share with you this afternoon. I will be joining Albertha Bogan to hear more about how our economies can be improved at 4 o'clock this afternoon. She is hosting an event that will discuss My Economy. It's going to be at 64 Beaumont Street in Dorchester, Massachusetts. And I want to say thank you very much to Albertha for hosting that. I will be there. So who do we have as early risers this morning? I'll share that with you in just a little bit. But again, want to talk to you today. We are going to be talking about the first segment. We are going to be talking about your credit, protecting your credit and using other people's money. You're hearing a lot about how do we protect ourselves from all of the forces that are on us that are trying to assume our identity. So the first segment, we are going to be talking about assuming the identity, and we actually have something in My Econ to avert that. Second segment, we are going to be talking about OPM, other people's money, and how that fits into our personal economies. So first segment, we'll be talking about protection. Okay, because protection is a critical component. And then, of course, we always will be talking about what is happening, all of the announcements that you need to know about, and what are economists saying. And actually, for the economist section, I want to talk about what's going on over in London. So for this section, I'll be the economist. And then, of course, we are going to have a wrap. So the month of May has been totally dedicated to smart money. What is smart money? Smart money is credit. Because as I've always said, we will never have as much money as we will have access to credit when we, in fact, have credit. So let's break out the acknowledgements. First and foremost, early riser goes to Janice McManus. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. Janice, you have got it. Congratulations. Now, I know a lot of folks are watching the wedding and all that's going on. I know that. You know why? Because I have not seen the chimes in on the broadcast. And I'm going to take a quick look at I'm looking right at the Wealth Warrior page, and I'm going, okay, we got a lot of folks that are not quite chiming in yet. Alrighty, so I just want you to know that I'm looking, and I can see it too. So while I'm broadcasting, I'm looking. I know you're loving it, but take a moment, come on over, be with us. So again, want to give the early riser to Janice McManus. It is good to have you with us. Also want to give an acknowledgement to Britt Johnson from Boss Lady News. I am going to be with her on June 2nd. I'm really excited about that. She and I are working together, and it's pretty exciting. She is bringing the cameras so that you and I can be seen, because, you know, part of Brent working, you're going to hear more about that in a little bit, but part of Brent working is being seen, being visible. And so with that being said, I'll share a little bit more about what she's going to be doing with us. Good morning, Nelly Rosario. It is good to see you. Let me show you some love. And right there, I just showed you some love. And to that end, we have got a lot of action going on, but this is about the acknowledgement. So we acknowledge Janice McManus as the early riser, Nelly Rosario for getting on board. We have our ambassadors, Regina Jones-Jenkins, also Albertha Bogan. Want to give a shout out to Pamela Stone, longtime colleague, has her own broadcast, and she will be putting that up. You can see Pamela on Wednesday evenings. Dr. Letitia Wright generally chimes in. She is up in California, so if she is up and it's 6:15 a.m., we can be up at 9:15 a.m. Am I right? I hope you said yes, because if you didn't, I am going to be disappointed. So with that being said, let's go into segment one. We're talking about credit and protection. This all falls under the guise of smart money. I want to share with you that in the My Econ system, we have a protection service that's a part of the whole system. And it still falls under the smart money kit. There is protection for us. And what does that mean? Why am I talking about this? Because we have to be as vigilant about getting credit and maintaining credit as we do about protecting it. There are forces that are out there that will assume your identity. And I'll tell you what, it will cost you more money than you can imagine to rectify a credit issue. I want to give you a great example. Now, this past week, I've been watching my feed and I've seen some pictures, and I really do appreciate people, reposting or saying, hey, Brent, I saw your picture, or I went through your feed and I gave you likes on that picture. I want to tell you something. Some of those pictures, I actually weighed 20 pounds more than I do right now. Do you know what a woman feels like when she has been dieting to get down in her weight and she sees a picture of her that's 20 pounds heavier? Now, how many times have I deleted that picture? I can't tell you how many times. It's been that many. I keep deleting it. And guess what? What does Facebook say? Just because you delete it from your feed does not mean that it is scrubbed from every place else. If it's in somebody else's feed, it can be revived. That's the same kind of scenario that happens with credit. Unless we are vigilant, once your credit is hacked, trying to rectify those issues it's not that it can't be done, but the cost of having it done can be astronomical in comparison to us just being vigilant right from the top. So what does vigilant mean? Vigilant means, in my opinion, that we need to check our credit on a quarterly basis. We don't need to do it monthly, but I would prefer that you do it quarterly, but certainly twice a year, you go in, you look at that credit report, you do a soft pull. Okay, so what does a soft pull mean, folks? Somebody put in the feed, soft pull. Nellie, please go right ahead and put into the feed, soft pull, hashtag soft pull. Would you do that for me? And what a soft pull is about is you are able to get your own credit, and you're able to go to the bureaus, pull your own credit report, and that is a soft pull. It's not a hard pull. It's not a creditor pulling your credit report, because when a creditor is pulling your credit report, that is typically a hard pull. That is an inquiry that's going to stay on your credit report for months. And in fact, in some instances, literally for up to a year. So I'm just going to hit this one and put hashtag, let me get that for you, and put hashtag soft credit pull. Okay, and that's what you want to do is a soft credit pull, probably on a quarterly basis, and take a look at that information. You want to look for anything that's suspicious. You want to look for anything that you did not do. You want to check those inquiries and see, is there something in there that you didn't inquire, that you didn't reach out to that creditor? And I'll tell you something, if you didn't, you want to be in contact with that creditor. You want them to supply you with the documentation that has your signature on it that says that you applied for that credit. And if they cannot provide you with that information, that's one and done, gone. That's how vigilant you need to be. If the addresses on your credit report are not correct, get them updated. Why? Because that kind of information flows and follows. And there are far too many decisions that are made using your credit. Were you aware that your insurance, do you know that you can be declined insurance based on your credit? What do you mean, Brent? You can be declined life insurance based on your credit. I'm not kidding. I'm very serious about that. You can be declined a job. Let's say you want to go and work in the financial industry. You owe too much. You got too much debt outstanding. You may not be able to be bonded. You are the right candidate. You've got all the right skill set. However, your credit is abysmal. It is your identity. It is a part of your identity, is your credit history. You want to be proud to say, I got good credit. Yes, that is a part of your identity. That's why protecting it right now is such a pivotal component to your lifestyle. Because again, you will never have as much cash as you will have credit. When you have access to credit, that is a phenomenal thing. So I am imploring you, encouraging you, cajoling you, beseeching you to do whatever it takes. And I have to tell you, I'm going to give a congratulations and a shout out to Angie and Frank Marcello, new members to the My Econ system. Congratulations to you both. Phenomenal. And I am so enthusiastic for them because they get it. They understand that that membership gives them access to tools to raise up that credit. And you know, one of the interesting things in the conversation that we had together, one of the things that they talked about was, well, you know, I don't want to have a lot of credit because I don't want anything to go wrong. And I got that. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Credit begets credit. If you are at a certain age and you're not following the American dream, which is the house, which is the credit, which is the finance, if you're not following that kind of stuff, here's the deal. I don't know whether I'm willing to lend you money because you haven't demonstrated that you can repay. And if you can't repay, then I'm a little bit concerned that you may not be able to do what I need you to do. And that is to repay me. So I'm not sure I want to take any chances. See, we have to access credit so that we can get the bigger things. If you say you want a home, and you want me to lend you $350,000, but the most you've got on your credit report, the most you've ever accessed is $1,000. How do I know you know how to manage your household to repay the $350,000? That's what we're talking about. So monitoring your credit, being cognizant of what is on there, so your identity is properly adhered to, is properly understood, that's our responsibility. We must be vigilant about protecting our credit. Our credit is our money. Our credit is smart money. It's our money. You might not have $350,000 in cash, but you might have access to $350,000 in credit. It's as good as cash, as good as gold. So it's about how you use it. And thank you. I appreciate that comment that you've made, Janice. In fact, I'm going to pin your comment to the top. I appreciate that. So thank you very much on that account. Again, what I'm talking about is protecting yourself, protecting your credit, accessing more so that it begets you more. And that comes under the section Smart Money Kit, which is a part of your My Econ membership. So let me share a little bit more about the invitation into becoming a member, getting your membership in My Econ. You can go up to, and I'm going to put it right here on the screen for you, and that is brentharding.myecon.net. Net. And when you go up to that site, what that's going to do is that's going to bring you into a membership. This is a membership component or a membership tool. And in there, we talk about your taxes, about how you can reduce your taxes through income shifting. We also talk about how asset protection, how to grow your economy, how to pay off your debt so that you can live the lifestyle you want to live, so that you can wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning if you choose to, or 5 o'clock in the afternoon if you choose to. These are tools that weren't always available for the general public. They are now available. So it's a matter of, will you take advantage of the opportunity? And again, I want to congratulate Angie and Frank Marcello for taking advantage of that opportunity. So it's BrentHarding.myecon.net. There are also other tools that will help you control your economy. Right now, are you paying an outside entity for legal services? That's right in the package. Your monthly membership gives you access to that. Are you paying for credit repair? Right in that package, comes as part of it. Are you going up to a certain website to purchase things, to purchase food from Whole Food? Are you going up there to purchase on Best Buy or any of those? Well, guess what? We've got a cash back mall. So when people say, well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is that you're going to get cash back for the purchases you make. Cash back, your own mall. Buy from you. When you buy from you, guess what happens? You actually become your own business. And you get to make the deduction on your taxes because you are buying from you. It doesn't get, man, it is great to be living in America. Yes, it is. When we can become business owners by virtue of being a member, having your own site. Other people can go up to your site, they can see information, and if they want to join, they can too. This is the best gift that you could give anybody, is helping them to create legacies for their own families. And that is what is happening. That is what jazzes me. That is what has me excited. That we can do for ourselves. I just hit my own button. Ain't that something? That's why I'm going to leave that phone alone. I'm going to ask you, nope, I still will pull it up. I'm going to ask you to share the broadcast. Just hit the share button. Send it over to somebody else. We want to give. I want to be able to give the Generosity Is Me award to somebody today because they've shared it with somebody else. So with that being said, the Smart Money Kit has those tools in it. And part of that is protecting your own credit. Protecting your credit, because when you do, you protect it for you, you protect it for your family, you protect it for the legacy that you want to leave for your children. Now here's a quiz question. What is an operative credit score that you want to attain? In other words, what is a very good credit score that's going to give you access that there should be no reason on the planet for you not to get the credit that you ask for, for you to be able to get the interest rate that you want? You know, I remember calling a creditor and saying, I'd like my line increased. And oh, by the way, I'd like that interest rate reduced. They said, hold on just a moment, let us check. Okay, we can increase your credit line by $5,000 and we can reduce your interest rate. I don't remember what it was, but we can reduce your interest rate. That was a phone call. Wouldn't you like to make that kind of phone call? And you can when you have what score? Okay, I'm just waiting for somebody put the score in. What is the operative credit score? That's what I want to know for today. With that being said, let's talk about the announcements. Okay, on March 23rd, I will be the opening speaker at the Small Biz Buffet. That is happening in Massachusetts. That's being run by Ruggiera Toussaint from Urban Niche. By the way, good morning, Ruggiera. She is an awesome marketing developer. I can only say amazing things about her. And I will tell you one other thing that I appreciate. She follows up. She does what she says she is going to do. I am so proud. I consider her my sister company. I am thrilled. I'm going to be speaking at that event, the Small Biz Buffet. You can go up onto Eventbrite, and guess what? You can attend. It is a complimentary event, and I am very enthusiastic to be asked to be the opening speaker. Guess what's happening on the next morning? May 24th at 8 a.m. is the pre-launch of Brent Working! Hashtag Brent Working. That is right. What is Brent Working? Brent Working is about more sales, and it's about cutting a deal right in the room with somebody that you don't necessarily know. You came to know them in the room, and you walked out with a deal in hand. You walked out with cash in hand. You walked out with a contract. You walked out saying and knowing that business is going to occur. That's what Brent Working is about. It is not networking. It's about landing the plane. That's what I'm going to show you how to do. And I will tell you that folks that came into the event, I was at an event that I spoke at in March, which actually was the beginning of Brent Working. I will tell you that the young lady got a deal, and that was none other than Britt Johnson from Boss Lady News. She and I cut a deal. How about that? That is so sweet. Alexis Winder from the Keto Chef cut a deal right in the room. When you have an opportunity, by all means, go up to their pages, their Facebook pages, and take a look. Take a look at Boss Lady News. Dynamic young lady. She is the producer of Britt Johnson is the producer of Boss Lady News. She's also a realtor. And she has created a real estate club, a group, people that are working together. They are pooling their funds to buy property. My hands up to you, lady. You are rocking it. And then there is the young Alexis Winder, the Keto Chef. She shared with me, in fact, I saw her as she was cutting the deal right in the room. She is the Keto Chef, an incredible young lady. Guess what? She has a contract, and she is part of a book deal. And I am ecstatic for her. It's a recipe book that is about the keto program and how it benefits your body and what kind of cooking you should do. Two ladies cut deals, one with me, one with another individual. And I'm hearing about other deals that got cut in the room. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Goretta Baines, who actually is hosting the event on May 24th, hashtag Brent Working. We're going to be doing that event over at Northeastern. It's going to be in the JP Artist Studio at 79 Armory Street in Jamaica Plain. And she and I are working together, collaborating, as a result of that event. So this event on May 24th, hashtag Brent Working. It is the pre-launch of Brent Working. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. It is all about cutting deals in the room. So what that means is this: more sales for you. Wouldn't you like to come into the room, introducing yourself, and walk out having cut a deal? It's limited to 25 people. So that's it. It's limited to 25 people. Why? So that we can have an intimate setting and we can have those conversations that allow us. We're going to cut the time in half that it takes. You know how people will say it takes 5 to 7 touches? We want to cut those touches in half. If we can clear it and cut it in the room, hey, wouldn't you like to walk in with zero and walk out with a $10,000 contract, $5,000 contract, $4,000 contract? It is sweet. And you have an opportunity to participate in that. I will have a page going up today called hashtag Brent Working, and you will see the dynamics of what's going on. By the way, Boss Lady News will be there in her capacity as a broadcaster. She is actually going to be doing live feed, and she's going to be posting a show. So I'm going to encourage you, make sure that you are wearing your best. Make sure that you know what you want to say to the audience, because guess what? You're going to have a chance to be seen and be heard. That is sweet. And we will be raffling off an interview for you on Boss Lady News that you will be able to put up on your page, on your site. And that's going to be a complimentary from Boss Lady News. Britt Johnson, we thank you so much for that. So again, want to have you focus in on 2 events. May 23rd, I am going to be with Ruggiera Tucson, and she is from Urban Niche. We will be in Cambridge, Massachusetts at the Small Biz Buffet. And you can go right up to Eventbrite, look for Small Biz Buffet, and you can get your tickets. And then the next morning, 8 a.m., we will be, that's Brent Working. The pre-launch of Brent Working will occur over at Northeastern, and it will be co-hosted with none other than Gloretta Baines. And you'll see 2 of our event ambassadors. That will be Albertha Bogan, who is also with My Econ, as well as Regina Jones Jenkins, who is a consummate life coach. And she is also a clinician, so you'll be able to meet her there as well. Woo! How was that? Did I get it all in? Whew, had to work at that one. Regina, go right ahead, please, and put information in the feed regarding what's the up and coming. Okay, with that being said, let's talk about OPM, other people's money. What does that mean, other people's money? What that means is this. Other people's money means that you are using other people's money. Wow, revelation. Let me go a little bit deeper. When you use credit, you have in effect used somebody else's money to get something that you want. So if you were to take your credit card and use it as a down payment on a piece of property, you got access and use of that money for, it might be 30 days. You know that you are going to close the deal in 30 days. That requires preparation. You're going to repay that down payment money that you use. You just use their money to access something that you want. And it's referred to as OPM, other people's money. You have the ability to do that when you've got exemplary credit, when that credit is pristine. And I'm waiting for somebody to put it in the feed to let me know what the credit score is, because we talked about it last week. In fact, I think I beat a dead horse on that one, and just really trying to pound in how pivotal it is to get your credit, to make that happen, because it's smart money. You will get phenomenal tools on brentharding.myecon.net. And when you become a member, guess what? You get to have your site, your name, because our name is who we are. You will get to have your name, your site. You'll have access to phenomenal tools. We are talking right now about the Smart Money Kit. We talked about the credit score last week. The week before that, we talked about how you can rectify credit issues, the DIY of resolving your credit. Now we have moved on to talk about protecting it and about using other people's money to get what you want. Here's the important component, though, when you are using other people's money, is there is a deadline on that money. There's a deadline on the use. In many instances, you get to use money at no cost. I would dare say free. Janice, you're close. You're pretty daggone close. I like that. I got to hit her up with a like that, because she is pretty daggone close. I want to give you, try again. You're close. And I appreciate the fact that she did that. What you want to understand about OPM is there's a timeline on it. You want to put it in your phone, in your schedule. This is due. You want to always give yourself 48 hours prior to the deadline. So if the deadline is the 31st, you want to give yourself 48 hours. And when I say 48 hours, I mean a full 48 hours. That doesn't mean if the deadline is Friday that you say Wednesday at 9 a.m. No. It has to be Tuesday, so that you've got Wednesday. The 48 hours starts from Wednesday at midnight. to get that money to whoever that creditor is. So I'm going to encourage you to understand it's a 48-hour window that you want to give yourself. In case there is a crisis, something happens, you've got to have the time to do the turnaround to make sure that you meet the deadline. Because see, here's the deal about meeting the deadline. If we do not meet the deadline, then two things happen. One, it costs. And if it costs initially, the cost is higher. Second is your credit score can take a nosedive because you are now late. And do not let anybody fool you about late. It may not be reported on your credit immediately. However, it is housed information, and at any point in time, the creditor updates, they update that information about you. Now you've got a ding on your credit score and on your credit report, which means your credit score drops. See, one of the most powerful things to know about credit is consistency matters. When they see a burp, what's going on? What happened? Did they lose their job? Did this? Did this? All kinds of questions come up. You don't want to be in that position. That's why it is pivotal to understand credit is smart money, and you've got to monitor and be careful. You got to plan it out. See, the charge or the charge around legacy is the fact that we need to be about the business of planning our lives out. A lot of us live on the seat, and there was a time for living on the seat, but I got to tell you something. If you're 30 or over, that ain't the time to live on the seat. If you're between 21 and 30, you want to plan so that you can really enjoy, and you're not living on the seat. You are in, some people say, you want to get in front of the bus? Oh, heck no, you get in the front of the bus, guess what happens? You get run over. How about you get in the bus and drive it? That's what I'm talking about. So you want to drive that credit score. How's that sound? So we have talked about protecting your credit. We've also talked about OPM, other people's money. With that being said, again, I want to reiterate, become a member. Get your own membership. There's access to so very much. Let's go into what are economists saying. Now, I want to start by sharing this with you. I am not an economist. I am not a tax preparer. And by the way, you can get tax advice. When you are a member, you can get tax advice. You get legal advice. You get tax advice. You have you have the mall, the cashback mall. You've got credit services. You've got legal defender. You've got sorry, I didn't say that. You've got a vehicle service so that if you have a problem on the road, you've got somebody that will come and help you handle that problem. All in one package. That's a membership fee every month, which, by the way, because you now own your own business, is a tax deduction. The phone is a tax deduction. I'm just saying. So what do I want to talk about I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about income shifting, and I also want to talk about what's happening over the pond. One of the most critical components that all of us want to be cognizant of, especially if you are getting a paycheck every week, every month, every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, if you are a W-2 employee, the federal government has given you a gift that is so sweet that I can't even begin to express what a gift you're getting. And it's through something called income shifting, where you are going to be able to shift some of the income so that instead of it going to pay taxes, you're going to be able to shift it back in your household. We're going to be discussing that, or actually not we, Albertha Bogan will be discussing that this afternoon at 4 p.m. She is going to be talking about income shifting. How can you shift your income so that more money is coming into your household that you can use to pay off credit, that you can use to invest, that you can use to save. That's going to be at 4 p.m., 64 Beaumont Street in Dorchester, Massachusetts. You're going to hear more about that. And so I just needed to put that in front of your face. Now, let's talk about what's happening over on the other side. Why am I doing this under the section called economy? I'm doing this under the section called economy because what we are talking about and what is happening over there is they've had an influx of money come in as a result of this one event. Almost $1 billion will come in to their economy as a result of this event. It has been built up. The fervor around a one-time incident, a one-time event is raising a country's economy, not only by the money that is being spent that day, but by everything that falls afterwards. That's called the residuals. And so what economists do speak about is, what can you and I do to create residuals? So the one-time event occurred. It's one time, one and done. They've already put the rings on. They've said, I do. But what is going to follow after that? You have Meghan Markle, who her clothing is going to be followed. And there are going to be outfits that are going to mirror what she's wearing. She wears it today. It's going to happen tomorrow. We saw that with Michelle Obama clothing. There are economies that have come back to life because of the clothing that these ladies are wearing. In fact, I understand that there was a company that produced pocketbooks that was on the edge. They were on their way out. What happened? Meghan Markle wore that pocketbook, and guess what? They sold out. They had to produce more. And so what can you and I do that creates residual, that we do something one time and get paid over and over and over again? That is the charge, is what can we do that produces more income? You can call it residuals. You can call it royalties. Whatever it is, what we're saying is you do it once and it continues to pay. That is powerful. And so you have in your office, you actually have in your company, because when you have your membership, you have a company. So you will actually have in your company a mall. It pays back for you. You can share this information with other people. Just like I said, you pick up the phone, you hit the share button, you share it, other people watch. They like it, they do as well. What things are you doing that you only have to do them one time that's creating a residual? Are you investing in something? Are you investing in stock? Are you investing in bonds? What are you doing that produces additional revenue? Now that is, not only is it what I'm saying, it's what economists are asking. They are wherever you live. I'm talking to Jackie Burgess down in Trinidad. She and I are talking about residuals, and I'm really excited that she is going to be about the business of creating residuals. Rabbi Abukar over in Africa, in one of the countries in Africa, and I apologize, I'm having a brain burn, Rabbi, so I know you will correct that quickly for me and say, Brent, this is where I'm at. Thank you. I'm already saying it in advance. Creating economy will be extraordinary. And what are we doing? Because it is about our own economies. They just got $1 billion. That's their economy. What is yours? What is mine? If you want to know why do I do these broadcasts every week, one, because they excite me and they jazz me. And it's an opportunity for me to touch other people. Now, why else do I do these? I do these because it's about legacy. And when I share with you, it stays in my mind. My reticular activator goes off. And I remember these things because I'm sharing them with you. So, yeah, it's a little bit selfish. I'm not going to deny it. It is a little bit selfish. I do it for me, and I do it for you. So I listen to WIFM also. With that being said, let's recap what happened today. Well, I opened up. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I opened up with everything that's happening across the pond. And I know that there are plenty of people that are watching across the pond. I know that Nancy Lewis Hill watching the pond. I know that because she had a post about that. Want to reiterate and share, the early riser goes to Janice McManus. It is good to have you on the broadcast. Thank you so very much for being here with me this morning. Also had an opportunity. Nell Rosario was on the broadcast with us this morning. Glad to have you with us and appreciate you being here. We talked about other people's money. Before I say that, we talked about protecting your credit, protecting your identity. That is the one thing that you have phenomenal control about if you choose to. However, if you do not and you're not vigilant about it, believe me, somebody out there will steal your identity. If you've got the right credit score, your identity will be snatched because somebody else will use it. And I'll tell you what, people prey on, Janice, I'm going to give it to you. How about this? 750. I'm going to give it to you. You gave it a shot. I appreciate the fact that you said, okay, well, I'm going to keep on trying until I get it. 750 is the operative credit score. Other people utilizing credit. I will tell you, my own mother has had her credit snatched 4 times in 1 year. People prey on the elderly because the elderly are not watching as much. That's why you have the banking industries and the creditors watching closely because they are protecting themselves. You and I have to protect ourselves. And my econ system membership gives you that opportunity. We went on and we talked about using other people's money. And I submit to you, you can use other people's money. However, what's critical about that is planning because that money always has a deadline. Always has a deadline. And if we are not cognizant of the deadline, we can ruin the very thing that we worked vigilantly to make happen, which was to get to that 750 credit score. You can have that drop in a month by missing, and then you've got to rebuild it. Why blemish it? And if it's and what you've got is you've got tools in the My Econ system to you get to that score and then sustain it. Powerful, very, very powerful. We talked about income shifting under the auspices of what are economists saying? Economists are actually talking about it. They're not talking about it loudly, but through entities, through the My Econ system, you're hearing it. You're hearing that it's about your economy. The pond got theirs. Almost $1 billion worth of theirs in a matter of a couple of days. And it will go on. Residuals, they will get theirs. Will you get yours? And we hope that you will. And to the extent that I can help you do that, you better believe I am going to be about the business of helping you get it. Are you hearing me? Residuals, it's your economy. It's our economy. It's the legacy. It is the one thing that you can leave for your children, for the next generation and the next generation after that. If you were watching this morning, you heard the royalties, you heard them talk about the generations, the royalties of generation. You are royal. You are a king. You are a queen. You are a royal. Your children are princesses and princes. Give them what they deserve. With that being said, announcements. I am the opening speaker on May 23rd. I will be at the Small Biz Buffet. You can go up onto Eventbrite and get your tickets. It's a complimentary event. Rogeria Duson from Urban Niche is going to be the host of this event. It is dedicated to small business owners. It is dedicated to entrepreneurs and related services. And I will be there. That's happening in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And then there is the pre-launch of hashtag BrentWorking. We are about the business of helping entrepreneurs, small business owners, and related individuals create more sales. If you are a realtor, if you are a mortgage originator, if you're in the banking industry, come on down. We are in the business of helping you create more sales for yourself. We are in the business of helping you cut deals in the room with people you literally just met. It can be done. You can strike a deal in the room. BrentWorking is about cutting deals in the room. That's what we're going to do. That's what makes us stand out. We're going to shrink that timeline from 5 to 7 touches. We are going to prove that it can be done right in the room. And I know it can be done because Alexis Winder, the keto chef, cut a deal in the room at the Dudley Main Streets event, which was the beginning, the seedlings of what is now BrentWorking for Brent Harding, in that I'm the one that is launching that. Dudley Main Street, still in existence. There are events going on there. This is about BrentWorking, and it's about you. Cut a deal with Boss Lady News, Britt Johnson. That was between she and I. Alexis cut it with somebody else. Deals cut right in the room with folks that we hadn't met until then. So that's what's going to make BrentWorking stand out. That's going to be happening on May 24th, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. It will be at Northeastern, 79 Amory Street. That's in Jamaica Plain. It's going to be on the 4th floor at the JP Artist Studios, courtesy of Gloretta Baines. Gloretta, kisses to you. Appreciate you tremendously. That's it. We have done it once again. I want to thank everybody for joining in on the broadcast, for giving me a little bit of their time, especially since it was all about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And so I appreciated being up to watch them. I want to reiterate again that I thank you very much for being with me. We'll be back again next week, same time, same channel. It's all about love and you. Go out today and be you. Absolutely extraordinary. King, queen, prince, and princess. See you next week. Bye now.